Welcome into Chatterbox Bearcats. It's the midweek show. I'm your host, Nick Niehaus, joined by Eric Lilly. When will the pain and suffering ever end? Brendan Sorsby hitting the transfer portal, keeping his options open for the NFL draft, hoping that's the case, Lilly, hoping he goes to the NFL draft. If he doesn't, we'll break down where we think he's going to go. You probably already know. But anyway, that's the big news. Brendan Sorsby. We have a bunch of other football players hitting the portal. Pretty much the entire secondary. We might have players playing two ways in the bowl game. Maybe. I don't know how that would even work. Or do we put chairs out there? Anyway, we'll talk about that.
It's Navy.
Yeah, they don't pass. They don't pass.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of linemen out there. We'll also have some basketball news, and we'll break everything down considering it's just all going downhill in the basketball world. So we have a lot to talk about. All right, Lily, we'll start off with Brendan Sorsby. We saw this one coming. We kind of, if you were a listener of this show for the past month, we eased you into this. We kind of knew that this was where it was headed. This is not a surprise to any Cincinnati fan unless you aren't on the internet at all. He's getting crazy offers. He's the number one portal quarterback right now. I think he's actually the number one portal player.
Yeah.
So it's crazy that we only won 7 games with him. Let's save that for later, but talk about just, him being in the portal. Who's he looking at? This seems to be almost open and shut, right?
Maybe. You never know. Like I always
true.
have this conspiracy mind where like I see that I'm like, that's a good way to get leverage. If you were trying to get leverage, like your girlfriend goes to Texas Tech, and I mean, that's the best leverage you could get right there. I mean, he's also like close to his hometown. He's from Denton. I think it's pretty close to Lubbock, within an hour or two. Don't quote me on that.
Let's check.
So I think there's plenty of leverage there for Brendan if he's negotiating with NFL teams in terms of like getting a promise, or if he's, flirting with the usual suspects that we've seen on Twitter between Indiana, Miami. I've seen Auburn, LSU. Brendan's going to be a top 5. I said top 10 like a month ago, I think. He's probably going to be a top 5 preseason Heisman favorite if he stays. But like you said, I would love for him to go to the NFL and just be able to claim him forever as a Bearcat. And, it's tough to really look back and be happy with these last 2 seasons, but it would be cool to be a part of that journey a little with the whole, how the transfer portal goes. It doesn't feel like we're going to have much of that going forward. So it would be cool. But I personally got over this one pretty quick, but I'm just a little different than most people. Like once the NFL stuff started happening mid-season and, you're seeing 1st to 4th rounds, it's like, okay, this guy, Sorsby's going to go. So it's like, I already had it in my mind that he was gone. So it's made it a little easier for me to compartmentalize, but I will say it'll be a bummer to watch him next year, especially if he's playing that game at Nippert next year for Texas Tech.
I kind of want that to happen. Is that like the masochist in me? Like,
yeah,
seeing our old quarterback come into Nippert and just torch us.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
I'll be rooting for him, but obviously not in that game. But it'll be funny to see the signs. You'll see something like, sure, we'll see a Sorsby loses in Nippert again, like something like that. If we win, no. Obviously not all those losses were his fault, even though he had a couple mistakes this year. But I'm blaming the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you're going to get any take on Twitter, any take on the internet, just because it's a, void where people just voice their opinions. But everybody who's upset at Sorsby, miss me with that for sure, because this is life-changing money, right? Like, if you're upset with anybody, be upset with A, the system, B, with the athletic department or the coaching staff for not winning enough to keep him at a discounted rate, or even being able to match him at whatever rate he's going to get in the free market. You put $5 million. I just threw that number out there. That's not confirmed, although that is kind of the ballpark that
Most I've seen is 4. So
4. Okay.
if I pump
Millions
that
of
into my
dollars.
NIL calculator, it's actually 3. But
Yeah, it's probably true. Regardless, I do not blame him whatsoever. I don't blame him at all. I would be doing the same thing. He's not from here. He didn't, come here out of high school. He came here. He played his ass off. We won 7 games, and he's going to go get life-changing money. It's as simple as that.
He's a pro. Like in the presser next year, if he does play here, he'll shout us out. It might make it hurt even more because I don't think he wants to leave. And this is just I see a lot of like, oh, we're poor, we can't afford these guys. And I just want to go push back on that a little because these last 4 years have been miserable as a basketball and football fan. Like the one thing we have done is keep players here. If we won 10, 11 games, if we were going to the playoffs right now, I think Sorsby would be staying. I think we would have a little more momentum. Some donors would step in. I'm not saying we'd match that number exactly, but you might get, 500K off. I don't know, something like that. And it's like we kept him last year. He could have gone almost anywhere after last season. I know some people were upset with how that went, but he was really good last year. He had a lot of hype. And we kept Corleone, we kept Royer, we kept Golday. All these guys we're keeping because we do have some NIL money and we use it to retain our players. And now keep complaining about not getting 4 stars out of high school. Sure, that's true. We don't spend there. But I just think we should give our donors and like our NIL setup, which has won awards, a little credit here. Because this is the first time it's happening, and it's happening because we did not hit our peak this year. A lot of guys are leaving. Front office is leaving. I think we're about to talk about this. This is just, the time when people jump off the ship. You missed a big opportunity. We're not going to be as good next year. And it's just human nature with how the portal is, and he's going to get a raise while he does it. So I just don't think it's much more than that.
Yeah, we weren't good enough. And I think in a backwards way, now hear me out. This is going to be word vomit, Lily. In a backwards way, us not being good enough made Sorsby leaving easier on me. It's like, I'll put it this way. A few weeks back, we didn't think this UC basketball team was this bad, but also there were doubts. We didn't look great in any of the bye games. The offense was still in the hundreds in KenPom. And I'm going into the Louisville game thinking we're going to get smoked. And then we go out and we kind of punk them in the first 8 minutes. And then I start pacing. And then I start screaming at the TV because we were in the game and because we were actually controlling it. This football season, once the wheels fell off, we were not in the game anymore. So anything bad that happens, it's just more bad, right? Like, if we were a college football playoff team this year and Sorsby left, that would be
then you have a problem.
That would be
that's
tough.
The problem.
Not only is it bad internally at UC and in the football program, but the fans, I feel like, would feel it a lot more so than us only winning 7 games with him and him leaving. Like, it doesn't hurt that bad, as sad as it sounds.
Yeah, and that I agree, just in terms of like mentally being able to handle things. Like, to me, like, I see a lot of people down on our programs right now, as they should be, because none of them are winning enough, including the women's team who just lost again to a bad team. We have to be able in the Power Four to, when the team is good, you have to be able to retain those players and build on it. Okay. And last year with basketball, we did that. We brought back everybody. We trusted the coach. We brought back all the players. We were running it back. We were top 15 preseason. There was a ton of hype for football. We didn't have the same hype because, Satterfield's not like as exciting of a coach as Wes was. There wasn't as much hype about it, but I think like using a little hindsight here, a lot of fans would say like, hey, this was the year we blew it. Like we should have won 9 or more games this season, I think is what people would say. But we brought back all the players. We did not lose. So to my point here is like, as NIL, as a smaller Power 4 school, not smaller, we have tons of alum. We're younger. We have to be able to capitalize on those seasons. And we have, not seasons, but in terms of retaining talent and money and spending, we have to do that. We have done it. And then the coaches and players didn't perform. So until we start losing players heading into huge seasons, it's not a huge problem to me personally. Like, I just think you really have to capitalize on those big moments.
Do you have any more on Sorsby, or can we talk about the rest of the departures?
I'm just going to make a prediction here. I think this is off the wall. No, actually, I'm not going to say he's going to the NFL. If he goes to the NFL, my prediction is the Philadelphia Eagles as a backup to Jalen Hurts. That's my throwing it out there.
Just what's the reasoning there?
I was watching the Eagles the other night, and then I saw that they're looking for a backup, and I was looking at the mock drafts. I was like, you know what? That seems like something the Eagles would do. He kind of fits the culture. That's what I'm going. That would be sweet though. With
they would say
the Eagles Bearcats connection we have.
Yeah, that's true. They would say how he did it again. How he did it again.
Yep.
All right, we have 13 departures on the team, most of which are on the secondary. Thank God we're playing Navy.
Yeah.
We got, all right, let's just roll through it. Dakari Anderson, Ethan Green, Kamari Burns, Cale Woodburn, Zeb Kinsey, Kai Stokes, Chance Williams, Christian Harrison, Taden Barnes, Brendan Sorsby, Jaquan Sanks, Armani Arnold, and Willie Goodwin. A lot of those names, I feel like the common Bearcat fan might not know. There's some, though.
Yeah. Those are the Bearcat Bunch sicko names right there. If you dive into the spreadsheets and stuff, and most fans aren't going to know those guys. And to your point, like I think quite a few of those guys were, you're not good enough to play here type moves. Obviously, there's a couple very obvious ones that were good enough to play here, and they are leaving. Sanks, Christian Harrison, Sorsby, those ones for sure. The staff would have loved to have back, I think. And now you're looking at Navy with one cornerback who's ever played, Daniel James, who's a sophomore, 0 safeties who have ever played, and 1 star who's ever played, Antoine Peak. The linebacking crew is looking fine. I assume Golday's not going to play. I've actually said he's not going to play. We'll see. It is his home. I think his parents live in Memphis or something, so you never know. He should not play, in my opinion, based on his draft stock. But we're playing Navy, so let's get those young guys out there, get some reps. You don't really have to worry about getting torched over the top. They do throw it a little more than normal, I think, is what I was looking into. With their quarterback's really good, Blake Horvath. What a turnaround in these rooms that needed a turnaround. And it's a little scary, Niehaus, because I think last year we were saying the same thing. It kind of feels like we gutted the room, the DB room, and then we just rebuilt it, and now we're doing the same exact thing. I've been very high on this front office. I think it's safe to say they messed up with the defensive line and the DBs, personally. I think that's what cost us this year. So it's going to be completely new on defense next year. There's a chance here that Antoine Peak is like who else we got? Jonathan Thompson, maybe, like the only guys returning that a casual fan knows or recognizes on the entire defense.
This might be a thing every single year.
Maybe.
At least I know some fans are hoping it's a thing for 2 straight years, because that would mean a coaching change has ensued. Speaking of some changes, you say the front office is gone, right? Our our portal GM is gone.
So I don't know the exact titles off the top of my head. I probably should have looked this up, but Zach Rant, the GM, is still here. He's the GM. Jack Griffith don't know his title off the top of my head, was the transfer portal guy. He went to Penn State to be a recruiting assistant. And then Carter Wilson was the high school guy. He's going to South Florida with Brian Hartline to take a promotion and be their GM. So those are the two next in line after Zach Grant, and they're gone right before the portal, which is not exactly what you want to happen, I think. They're kind of doing kind of doing the Sorsby thing. Like, hey, this is your career. Yeah. You've got a big year next year. If you get caught in this and the staff gets fired, it could hurt your career. And then for Sorsby, if you stay and you're loyal and the team's not very good, your stock might go down. So they replaced him quick, though. Zach Grant was quick. He got a Western Kentucky guy. That's where Zach Grant's from. Nick LaMattina. I don't know how old. He's 25 years old.
Yeah, I was going to say he's like 26.
So there's a chance he's recruiting a portal player that's his age or older. So, new face, new name. I just don't know what to say. I was hoping personally for like an assistant at one of the a power school and bring in some new names they were looking at. Maybe they're in deep on a guy we can get from a power school. Instead, it's Western Kentucky. I'm sure we overlap a little with them because we like to recruit.
Oh my God.
Diamonds in the rough, but we'll see. It's always hard to judge. I'm happy they filled it quickly with the connections there. And then for the for the South Florida guy, Carter Wilson, who left, the high school guy, hasn't been announced yet, but has been filled internally. So someone's getting promoted to that spot. So we're ready to rock and roll for portal and high school.
I will never blame anybody of the job level of those guys seeking a promotion, getting a better gig. They don't make a lot of money and they work
a ton.
I'll never be upset about that if they seek a better opportunity, because here's something that I think of. Jeff Traylor at UTSA missed his window, right? UTSA was nasty for a couple of years, didn't take a gig. I don't know if he was offered a gig, whatever, but regardless, he got passed up. He's not talked about in any of these hot, the smirk on your face tells me as if something like I should know something.
No, I was just thinking we're going to end up hiring this guy and someone's going to clip this.
Well, I'm just saying, dude, you got to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah. And
it's if Sorsby had another 7-win season, at UC, I know wins aren't a quarterback stat. I fully get that. And I know that bad record quarterbacks go well in the draft every single year, but it's not a great look. Doesn't help. So
yeah, it's, plus you have more talented receivers and stuff. You could really blow up somewhere else. Lots of change 2.5 weeks before the portal. The portal does open the day we play our bowl game. So honestly, you might see guys announced right after the game.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Speaking of, who are we expecting maybe not playing in the game? Is there anybody out there that
I would say Golday's not playing? I don't think Corleone's going to play. So I have a newsletter now for anybody who doesn't subscribe at Bearcat Bunch. It's in the bio. And I try to throw in a couple little tidbits to each one. I'm trying to level up over here. Mm-hmm. And I initially said, don't expect Royer, Golday, Sorsby, and I think Royer's actually going to play now. So I got to, rip myself a little for saying that. I think Royer might play. Still not expecting Sorsby. Obviously, he's out. See ya. But Evan Pryor's one that we might see play too. But I know there's been some rumors on Twitter about him transferring. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not saying there's a chance he plays the bowl game and transfers. There's a chance he doesn't play the bowl game, transfers. There's a chance he plays the bowl game and stays. If I had to guess, he plays and then transfers. We'll see on that. That's not, anything set in stone. We'll let him do his own announcement. He has 1 year left of eligibility. So same situation as Sorsby. And honestly, I don't know if this might be a hot take. This is my, I grew up on Baseball Mogul and games like that where you build your franchise and, when a guy turns 28, you trade him, right? In the video games because you want to get the next young guy. My Moneyball approach to next year's football team. I don't know if Evan Pryor can be that running back one the entire season, the heavy workload of the Big 12. And I think we might have to make a decision here. Do you want to get a RB1, someone that's a little thicker, a little more meat on the bone in the portal, and then have Zion Johnson back him up? Or do you want to spend a bunch of money on two running backs? Like, what do you think the best way to win in Cincinnati is? It's a real question. Some might say it's a hot take, but I would go new running back one, Zion, baby. I like what I see from that kid.
Do we get cash considerations for Evan Pryor if we trade him to a Big Ten school?
You never know. I think Chad reported we're getting something for Sorsby. I think that's behind a paywall, so I shouldn't say that. But
cash considerations.
We got the contracts written properly over here.
The Reds have traded Evan Pryor for cash considerations. So
and a 3-star recruit to be named later.
that was deciding between us, Central Michigan, and Kent State. Anyway. This is going to be such an interesting portal. This is going to be it. Like this, how we felt with Wes this offseason, where it's like we truly have our first head basketball coach on the hot seat in 30 years, 40, maybe. With Wes Miller, this is the first time in 40 years we've had a head coach on the hot seat.
Yates was in the 80s, right?
Outside of Tuberville, just looking back, I mean, as I'm saying this, it's like we've kind of been blessed with good coaches, I feel like.
But was Tuberville on the hot seat going into year 4? I can't really remember. Like,
I don't know.
This is similar. It's kind of a hot seat. You got to reach a threshold here, and it is similar to Wes, just way different in terms of each coach. Satterfield's more old school. Wes is more energy and people really believed in him. So they're a little different, but honestly, it's kind of similar too.
Yeah,
like you said.
Very similar. Yeah, this is a make or break portal. All right, let's go on to hoops. There is an elephant in the room. His name is Jizzle James. There are rumors swirling that we are going to see Jizzle James play tonight against Alabama State. Wow. Wow. That's all I got to say. Again,
Did we go back and rewatch our Jizzle shows from right before the season?
I know.
Where I said he might not ever play basketball again.
Let me reiterate. These are rumors. Again, these are rumors. But
this is a fan podcast. We can talk about rumors.
That's true. Who cares? It's not like we have any credibility. We're not even allowed to go to the games. Credentialed. This is crazy, Lily. We were breaking down the whole him being put on the Jumbotron like it was the Zapruder film. Did they know? Did the guy in the control room know that he shouldn't be putting him on the Jumbotron? And as somebody who worked in TV for, I guess, 7 years, if you want to call it, two things can be true about the whole Jumbotron. We didn't even talk about this on the pod. But Jizzle James was on the Jumbotron a month ago or a few weeks ago. And that's crazy in its own right. The fact of what happened He's off the team. He's out of school. Well, he's not out of school. He's on the Jumbotron. What in the world? Two things can be true. One, the guy in the control room has no idea what happened to Jizzle James and was like, oh, hey, look, it's Jizzle James. Click. Put him on there. That's one. Or B, if he does know what happened, there is no way he's putting him on the Jumbotron without some sort of direction. In my opinion. This is just me knowing how these things work. Now, I wasn't at a school. Like I didn't work the Jumbotron at a school, so maybe it's a little different than TV. But anyway, come to find out now that he's around the team and might play tonight. What in the world is going on?
Yeah, I'm going to be taking an L on this one if he plays. It sure looks like he is based on, when there's so much smoke that it just has to be true. Yeah. That's where we're at with this. Having said that, I got to stand my ground with my takes. I said he's not going to play, so he's not going to play.
You're going down with the ship.
You gotta have a code, right?
I don't blame you for having that take. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. He's playing.
And to be clear, my take was not intel related. It was common sense related. And apparently common sense is out the window here because let's look this through. Let's look this through. You're Jizzle James. Don't want to speculate too much on what happened, but that something happened, something happened. It seemed like a traumatic event that could, take a while to rehab from. You did not have preseason with the team. You were not practicing with the team. You were not on campus. You were away. And you're coming back late December, and you're going to just practice for a week and start playing again when you could redshirt and have a full year for yourself, another year of NIL, stuff like that. I just think it makes, from his perspective, I feel like he should want to sit and focus on himself, get the grades in order, find your next move if you're going to stay. And then from our side, I mean, my God.
Hold up. Before you have that thought, save that thought.
Yeah.
What are the odds? It's just cracking me up.
Oh, God.
What are the odds? Because we know he's watched us in the past. What are the odds that he hears you saying this and goes to Wes? And it's like between the time that this show is released and tonight's game is like, you know what? Maybe I should redshirt. What are the odds that can happen?
That'd be great. Jizzle, you should redshirt. We're big fans of you as a person, as a player. You should. That's what you should do. But
okay, but from our perspective,
but if you really want to bet on yourself and make this storybook, make this season something we could never forget by turning it around, Jizzle. Sure, go try. If you're in the headspace to do it, knock it out. We'll see what you can do. But from UC's perspective, I don't know what the hell we're doing either. To me, the season's kind of lost. I know this might bring energy and excitement to some fans, but it still is a little weird. Some fans are like, no, this is not energy and excitement. This is bad. Yeah. To me, you should want to help guide the player and be like, hey, we want you here. We want you practicing. We want you with the team. But I don't think you should play this year. Let's take the year off and see how you feel after the season. I would feel bad if I, cost you a year of your career here. Mm-hmm. That's what I think I would do if I was the coach. But maybe I'm missing something. There's a lot of stuff we aren't ever going to hear about this due to HIPAA, things of that nature.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I think it's very weird. It makes no sense to me at all. Honestly, I thought someone might step in and be like, no, this you can't play.
Yeah, I love it for the content and because why not? Why not? The season's over. If he wants to play, toss him in. I keep going back and forth though, because it's we were talking about this in the chat on, I guess, a couple days ago when it seemed likelier that he was going to play. And it's like he's traveling with the team. He's on the bench. What's the difference of just throwing him in the game? Like he's already there. Just toss him in. And then you see comments. I saw one. I wish I could give credit. I forget who it was. But they're like, yeah, let's just toss him in when fans are already booing and the environment is terrible. And, the crushing just mood that is going on at Fifth Third. Let's just toss this guy in who has gone through it recently. It's like, no, that sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, pressure might be bad for him.
Yeah,
right now, but he also might not feel pressure like we think he does.
Chilling. He could be chilling, like literally. He might just be like, "I'm good." Like,
one thing I think about those, like, if we had won Eastern Michigan, would I feel different about this? And maybe I would,
in a good way.
Like maybe I'd be like, you know what? Screw it. Let's see if we could turn this around because we don't have a bad loss. We have a lot of losses, but we don't have a bad loss. But we lost Eastern Michigan, and I just don't see how we're going to win that many Big 12 games to make up for it.
So you think the resume of Eastern Michigan is just, you think that's it? Like, you just think that's nail in the coffin? You don't think it's more so like, this team can lose to Eastern Michigan, so we know they suck?
Oh, it's
you
both.
think it's like, but like, okay.
Like, I think, we might lose tomorrow or today, whatever. We might do it. Lipscomb is next Monday. They were giving it to Duke earlier. I mean, Duke won big, but they went on a 26-8 run against Duke. Like, that's scary. Like, from what I've seen from this team this year.
Yeah. Crazy. We might have a spectacle. We might have a spectacle tonight. I would love to see him start. I think that would be even funnier. Oh gosh,
Niehaus is leaning into the content.
I don't think he'd be playing if he wasn't okay to play. I seriously don't think he'd be throwing him into this. And I'm not saying he's okay in general, but like in terms of basketball, like I don't know. I refuse to believe Wes is an idiot to this level, but he might be. He's doing it.
It's like my alarm bells are going off. So like when we do find out what happened, if we do, we'll have to make a judgment then. But up until this point, I very much was convinced that Wes was like extremely pro player, for the player, etc. It's open. I don't know now, but
might be to a
he
fault.
Knows more than I do. Maybe
true.
I don't want to go too into that, but
we're not in the locker room.
Yeah.
All right. Well, preview the game. I've been white knighting Wes Miller on the internet the last couple of days, defending him because I'm sad for him. I'm sad when he gets announced at Fifth Third Arena with the players. You just know that people are gonna boo, and that's gonna make me sad.
I'm going to show up late so I don't have to hear it. I think it's awkward. I don't like it.
I don't either. Like boo the bad play. Like,
yeah, I don't like that either, but still it's different.
I do it. So, I'm part of it.
I boo refs. It's always their fault. It's going to be weird though. Like, because in intros is so much different because it's like we are booing you and the game has not started yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's way different than booing a team going into halftime that is down 18-28 because they couldn't do anything.
This isn't a Tuberville situation. Like you could boo Tuberville if they did football intros like that you can do. That is allowed. Like Wes isn't purposefully losing. Like I just feel bad for him, like truthfully. And it's such a sad, it's like so sad for like me to say like that. I feel bad for our head basketball coach. I just don't,
I'm with you. I just, he's trying. He tried. It was a little over his head. Didn't work out here.
But this is semi-pro sports. This is semi-pro sports. This is not grade school. My son's coach, right? In 8th grade and I don't have an 8th grade son. Anyway. I'm just saying, like, it's not like we're booing the middle school basketball.
Yeah,
coach.
yeah, they're adults.
I get it. You want to boo them? Go ahead. Still going to be like a little like, ooh, this is something. This is tough to watch.
I just think the premise of it's weird. Like, you went to watch your team play. You want to win the game, right? As a fan, just feels wrong. Like, he knows they suck. He knows what's happening. He knows he hasn't performed up to Cincinnati standards. He knows all of this, and booing isn't going to do anything to change any of that except make it a little weird. That's how I look at it.
I also might have just created this narrative myself. There might not be any boos tonight. There might not. There's going to be, but there might not.
Yeah, if you beat Georgia, you're dodging it, though, I think.
Yeah.
But you got your ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Alabama State preview. Do you want to apologize to Alabama State for calling them Alabama A&T?
Tony Madlock, I'm sorry. That's the Alabama State coach.
Wait.
I'm just waiting for Niehaus to jump and be like, wait, did I actually cover him?
Wait a second.
Wait, did you?
Second. Hold up.
Not again. He was at South Carolina State in 2022.
No, I don't know him.
Alabama State after that.
No, but I am big into the SWAC. SWAC I covered for 3 years. Covered Jackson State. SWAC basketball, man. There's nothing more beautiful than SWAC basketball.
I watched the SWAC tournament last year. It was electric.
Dude, it is easily the most like volatile betting experience you can have. It's crazy. Dude, Jackson State, like if we want to think of like how weird it is to be a college basketball fan, I covered Jackson State in basketball. Their first home game is in January.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They're paying for the program until then, right?
Bust for months on end. But yeah, Alabama State, they exist. I don't know anybody on the team.
So if you lose to a team like that tonight, it's honestly, like I said, we could lose this game on some podcasts recently because they played New Mexico really tough. Our guy Eric Olin, who is on my hot board teaser. I don't have it's not published yet, but he's on there. New Mexico's head coach. I like him. They almost beat New Mexico away. They almost, they gave Missouri a game. They lost by 8, but they were in it. They're still a bad team. They're 261 in KenPom. But since we lost to Eastern Michigan, I can't sit here and tell you we're going to smoke them. The spread's 20. KenPom has us by 17. This team is a really good 3-point shooting team. They don't shoot many, but 37.7. It's the only thing they're top 50 in the country in. They shoot a lot of threes. They give up a lot of threes.
You know what's sad is just they shoot better than us. They shoot better than us. And it's not like they're not playing as tough competition as us. They're probably playing harder.
Yeah, their schedule actually, this is one of the few ones we might have an equal schedule. They haven't really played too many. Florida State, UAB, Colorado, New Mexico, Missouri. I don't know. It's even, close.
Yeah.
They're small. Their tallest guy's 6'9". Their guards are 6'2". Like, this team, you should smoke them on the boards. I actually I've been pretty impressive with our defensive rebounding this year. Like, it's been a total shock. We're 6th in the country. Bob Miller's been a beast. We have not capitalized on it one bit. I don't want to overanalyze this one, Niehaus. We should win this game by a lot of points.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then, it's going to continue to be very bad vibes.
All right. Well, me and Eric will have the post-game show tonight. You can get to hear us twice. We'll be going to the game, so it's going to be late. Like,
we're diehards, guys.
Not much late.
Sickos.
Yeah, not too late, but probably like 20, 30 minutes after the game, I would assume. That's all I got, Eric. You got any last words before we go?
That's it. I'm dreading the instant reaction tomorrow night if we lose. It's going to be, you might see me out of character if we actually lose tonight. So
Tonight. That's tough. It is Tuesday night. Peek behind the curtain.
Rookie mistake.
That's okay. I try. I mess it up. All right, that's it. Shout out to Chuck and Hudson. They interviewed Victor Locken. That will be coming out later this week. Of course, we play Clemson on Sunday. I'm curious how much Clemson talk there was, unless they just, talked ball with Big Vic.
Oh.
But
I'm sure they got off topic with Chuck, right?
Chuck,
and Vic. They probably
Chuck,
had fun. I'm jealous I wasn't there.
I know. I am too. But yeah, that'll be coming out later this week. Of course, like I said, me and Eric will have the post-game show tonight after the game, after Alabama State. Shout out to Martino's, our presenting sponsor. Make sure you go there before the game, after the game. Anytime. They got great pizza, great beer. We are brought to you by Martino's. We love Martino's. All right, well, Lily, I'll be talking to you later, and I'll see you guys all. Thanks for tuning in.